Hello and welcome to class. This is going to be our PSSA grammar review from Thursday, April 9th. So if you are not in class on Thursday, you should watch this entire video and take notes on the important information. See on the left here, I have the PSSA review packet. You should have received one of these in class. The packet has 4 pages and they each have 2 questions each here. So please make sure that you take that out. If you have not already gone through the packet yourself and tried to answer all 12 questions, please pause this video and go through and answer the questions on your own first. Please make sure you put little stars next to the answers so that it's easy to erase if you have the incorrect answer there. Okay, we're going to be going over these step by step together and going over some grammar that we may have forgotten or we may have gone over a while ago. Okay, also on the right hand side here, I have a Word document up. This is where I'm going to be taking notes, and these notes are ones that you should be writing just right ahead on top of the PSSA review packet that you have. Okay, I'm going to type it here so it's easier for you to see and follow, but you can pause the video at any time if you need to get caught up on the notes or if I'm typing too fast. Okay. So go ahead and make sure you have your packet out. You've answered all of the questions on your own first, and we're going to make our way through this together. Okay, let's take a look at number 1 here. It says, read the sentence. Swimming is an exercise that works almost all of your muscles, and it also strengthens your heart. How is this, the underlined gerund here, used in the sentence? Okay. Well, gerund, we know, are verbs that end in ing, and we can see that that is correct here. This is underlined. Swimming is going to be the word in question. We have some options. We have subject of the sentence. Well, what is the subject of the sentence? The subject of the sentence is going to be whatever the sentence is about. So what we can ask ourselves is this entire sentence here about swimming? If it is, then swimming is probably going to be the object of the sentence here. So swimming is an exercise that works almost all of your muscles, and it also strengthens your heart. Okay, all of this information is talking about swimming. It's all referring back to swimming here. So this is going to be our answer here, which is A. But I'm going to go through the rest of the answers and tell you why these are incorrect. Okay, the first incorrect answer that we have is B. This says as the direct object of a sentence. Well, if you don't know what the direct object of a sentence is, this is going to be something that you're going to want to write here in the white space, or if you want to scroll down, we have a lot of white space right here as well. Okay, so in that space, I want you to take notes on direct object if you don't already know what that is. I'm going to be using bullet points. You can do that as well, or if you just want to type out words or phrases, that's fine too. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is put direct object. Okay, direct object. A direct object is going to be a person or thing that receives action. Okay, a person or a thing that receives action in the sentence. If something is being thrown, or if something is being fed, which I'll give you an example sentence, it's receiving an action, and that's going to be the direct object. So an example sentence of this, it could be Jimmy fed the dog. Okay, Jimmy fed the dog. Simple. In this sentence, Jimmy is our subject. He's the one that's doing the action. He is feeding. That is the verb here. And the dog is going to be the direct object, the one that's receiving the action. Okay, the dog is the one that is being fed. It's receiving the action. It's a direct object. All right, so if we look at the sentence here, swimming is not receiving any type of action here, so that's not going to be a direct object. We can't choose B. C says the indirect object of the sentence. Okay, well, if we don't know what an indirect object is, that's going to be something that we want to write down here. So first thing I want you to do, either in the white space here or below, is type or write, if you have the hard copy, indirect object. An indirect object is going to be someone or thing that is affected by the action. Okay? But this is not going to be the primary object. Okay, so an indirect object is something that is affected by the action in the sentence, but it's not directly receiving that action. It's going to be affected, but not directly receiving the action. So I'll give you an example sentence here. Okay, so my example sentence is, we could have a command, give him the book. Okay, in this particular sentence, okay, the subject is an implied you, but it's not there. Okay, give is going to be the action. The book is going to be the thing that's being given here. All right, so that's going to be the direct object. And then we have him, which is going to be the indirect object. You, give him the book. Him, he is being affected, but he's not the one that's actually receiving the action. The book is the one that's being given here. So that's going to be our direct object. The indirect is him. Okay, so that's an example of this. So if we look over in our sentence here, swimming is not something that's indirectly being affected by an action here. So that's not going to make sense either. We're not going to choose C. Okay, and then finally D, as a verb in the sentence. I think a lot of people are going to automatically choose this because they see the word verb and they know that swimming is an action, something that you can do, so it is a verb. But make sure that you're reading the sentence and reading the context here, because swimming is not being performed here. There's no one that's swimming in the sentence. The sentence is about swimming, so swimming is going to be the subject of the sentence here, and that's why we're going to be choosing A. All right, if you have questions on this, you can write them in the side and then come and see me and I can answer these for you, or you can message me through Class Owl or send me a note through eBackpack as well. All right, let's move on to number 2 here. Number 2 says read the sentence. Tim Berners-Lee led the development of the World Wide Web. Which sentence below changes the above sentence to passive voice? Okay, if we don't remember what passive voice is, because it's been a while, I'm going to have you write it in your notes here in the white space. All right, so make a note, passive voice. Passive voice. Okay, passive voice is whenever the subject passive voice is going to be when the subject receives action instead of doing the action. Okay, passive voice is whenever the subject receives the action instead of actually doing the action itself. So, I have some key ways that you can identify passive voice pretty easily. Okay, the first is going to be you can see the word was. Oops. And then the verb in the sentence. So if you see was plus a verb, that's going to indicate that this is the passive tense. Okay, another word that you can find, passive voice, excuse me. Another way you can find passive voice is if you add by zombies at the end of the sentence and it still makes sense. Sounds crazy, but it works. So if you add by zombies at the end of the sentence and it still makes sense, then that's passive voice. Okay, so if we see was plus a verb, passive voice. If we can add by zombies at the end of the sentence and it still makes sense, then that's going to be passive voice. So we're looking over here at number 2. We're skimming, we're looking for was plus a verb, and then that we see in C here, was led. Okay, was plus verb shows passive voice. So that's going to be our answer. Also, we can see it has by Tim Berners-Lee. We could replace that and it could say by zombies. The development of the World Wide Web was led by zombies. Crazy. It works. Shows us that this is in passive voice here. Okay? Simple enough. No, it's been a while since we've gone over this. That's why I wanted to take some notes and review these things. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. We should be on number 3. All right, number 3 says, read the sentence. Millions of people with access to the internet use it frequently. Which sentence below changes the underlined verb in the above sentence to the conditional mood? Okay, conditional mood. If we don't know what that is, we're going to want to make a note of it somewhere in the margin or in the white space. So write down conditional mood. All right, when you're thinking about conditional mood, think of someone telling you that you could do something under certain conditions. So my example during class was, we can all go outside right now as long as it's not raining. It's not 100% going to happen, and it's not 100% not going to happen. It depends on something. That's what the conditional mood does. Okay, so the conditional mood expresses that something may or may not happen. So there's a possibility of something occurring. Okay? So usually whenever we're looking for conditional mood, you could see trigger words such as could or might, or you could have if. We might go outside tomorrow if there's nice weather. It's not 100% going to happen. It's not 100% not going to happen. Okay, so these are our trigger words. If we see these, we know this is triggering the conditional mood. So let's take a look here. One of these sentences is going to have could, which shows a possibility of something happening, and that's going to be B. Millions of people with access to the internet could use it frequently. There's a possibility. They could use it or they could decide not to. And that works too. So that's going to be our conditional answer here. All right, moving along. Number 4. The prospective actors assembled for the results of the tryouts. Juan got the lead role of Macbeth. The role of Lady Macbeth was awarded to Suzanne, and Chang happily became Macduff. Okay. Which change corrects the sentence in passive voice? All right, so passive voice, we can look back to our notes. It's going to be the subject receives the action instead of doing the action. We can identify this by looking for the word was plus a verb and adding by zombies and having that make sense. So what you're going to do is you're going to skim this and you're going to look for was plus a verb. And I've identified for that for you. It's right here. Was awarded. Was plus verb equals passive. Okay, we can even do the zombie test. The role of Lady Macbeth was awarded to Suzanne by zombies. Well, that was very kind of them. Okay, that makes sense. And that's going to help us identify passive voice. So now we have to look to our choices here for the answer. We have to choose a sentence that's fixing the passive voice. So we know the sentence with passive voice is the role of Lady Macbeth. Okay, so we're looking down here. Which one of these includes that sentence and rewords it? It's going to be C. Suzanne took the role. Okay, she's now going to be receiving or doing the action, instead of receiving the action. She's taking the role. So she's doing the action. So now it's active voice instead of passive voice. All right. Move along. Flip the page or scroll to the page. Okay, looking at 5. It says, read the sentence. Yesterday I found a wallet going to a movie. You found a wallet that's going to a movie? I didn't realize that wallets had legs. This does not make sense. That's because there is a misplaced modifier. So, which sentence corrects this misplaced modifier? If we don't know what that is, we might want to write that down. So in the notes, in your white space that you have there, write down misplaced modifier. And we talked about these, but it's been a little while, so I want to make sure that we review it and we all know what that is. So a misplaced modifier, okay, if we forget, is going to be a phrase that's placed awkwardly in a sentence so that it appears to refer to an unintended word. Okay, that's a misplaced modifier. A phrase that's placed awkwardly in a sentence so that it appears to refer to an unintended word. So when we read this, we see, yesterday I found a wallet going to the movie. Well, the wallet wasn't going to the movie. I was going to the movie and I found it. Okay, I found it sitting probably on the ground where wallets should be. So, which one helps to fix this? Just look for what sounds natural to the ear and what also clarifies what's happening. So the first one here, finding a wallet. I went to a movie yesterday. Okay, makes sense. It's kind of awkward. Let's see what else we have. I found a wallet going to a movie yesterday. Again, is the wallet going to the movies? Is the wallet going to see a movie here? This doesn't make sense. Okay, see, the wallet I found yesterday was going to the movie. That still makes it sound like the wallet is traveling to a movie to see a movie itself. Alright, D here, on the way to the movie yesterday, I found a wallet. Okay, this clarifies it. That's going to be our answer. Our answer here is D. Make sure you are marking down the correct answers on either your hard copy packet of this or your digital version. Okay, let's take a look at number 6. Number 6, we should be pros at this by now. We've done so much with inappropriate shifts in pronoun, person, and number, so we should be good to go. So let's take a look here. It says the school clubs will be having their sign-ups after school tomorrow. The band will meet in their practice room. Mrs. Logan will see students for the drama club in her homeroom. Mr. Brown wants the current computer club members to meet him before sign-ups start. Okay. Which sentence corrects an inappropriate shift in pronoun, number, or person? Well, first let's identify our subjects, and then we can identify their pronouns and make sure that they line up and they make sense. So, our first subject in this first sentence is clubs, the school clubs. Ask ourselves, is this singular or plural? Clubs, ending in an S. There's multiple clubs, plural. Our pronoun here is there. There is plural. This makes sense. That's good to go. Looking at our second sentence, the band will meet in their practice room. The band is a collective noun. There's only one band. One band, singular. If we have a singular subject or a singular antecedent, we have to have a singular pronoun. But we're looking at our pronoun in the sentence and it's there. This is plural. So these do not match up. We have to fix this sentence here. So we know we're looking for the sentence that is, the band will meet in their practice room. And we know that we need a singular pronoun. So we would want this to be, the band will meet in its practice room. We take a look. That's an answer. It's answer B. That's the correct answer here. Go ahead and mark that off. All right, go ahead and scroll or flip to the next page. Moving right along. Number 7. All right, grabbing the ball and running towards the goalpost, Craig felt it tumble onto the ground. Which sentence corrects the vague pronoun? Well, let's find the pronoun first. The pronoun here in this sentence is going to be it. It is vague because it's not clear which thing it's referring back to, what the antecedent is. Did the ball fall onto the ground or did the goalpost fall onto the ground? This is unclear, so we have to choose a sentence here that fixes this so that it is very clear what fell onto the ground. So the first one says, Craig felt it tumble onto the ground when he grabbed the ball and ran toward their goalpost. Okay, it is still not clear what fell. The ball? Was it going to be something else? We don't know. That's not clear. It's not going to be A. Okay, grabbing the ball and running towards the goalpost, Craig felt the ball tumble onto the ground. Oh, the ball. This is specific here. This is going to tell us what the pronoun's referring to, so this is going to be our answer. Just quickly looking at our other options here, grabbing the ball and running towards the goalpost, Craig felt him tumble onto the ground. Him doesn't go with ball, and him doesn't go with goalpost either, so that's not going to make sense. Not C. My personal favorite option here, as the goalpost approached, the goalpost is coming towards me? Craig grabbed the ball and tumbled onto the ground towards it. Towards what? Okay, this is not clarifying anything either. So our answer here is going to be B. Okay, number 8. Read the sentences. Ming began riding his bike last January. He has been riding every day since then, rain or shine. Now, in May, he had rode over 50 miles each day. By this coming December, he will have ridden over 2,000 miles. It says which underlined phrase should be changed to correct an error. So, what we have to do is we have to take a look at these tenses and make sure that they make sense with the rest of the sentence. Began riding last January. Past tense, we have last January, past tense, that's good. He has been riding every day since then, rain or shine. This has been happening since the past, still relevant now. That makes sense, good. Okay, our next one says now in May, he had rode over 50,000 miles, or 50, miles each day. Now is the present. Had rode is going to be that super past that we were talking about, past perfect. That's not going to be right because we can't have now and then have something happening in the past. So we have to fix this. So we know we have to fix had rode. So we're looking for the answer that changes that, and this is C here. We're changing had rode to has ridden. We're choosing has ridden now because this is going to clarify that this is something that happened in the past, but it's still relevant to the now. It's still happening now. Okay, so this is going to be the present perfect verb tense. Okay, has or have, started in the past, still occurring now, still relevant here in the present time. Okay. Go ahead and flip the page or scroll to the next. We're almost there. It says, read the information. Okay, I want you to exaggerate these sentences. When you're reading and you notice there are no commas, don't pause. Just read through it. And vice versa, if you're reading something and you see a comma, pause for a while dramatically so that you can listen to it and see how it sounds, if it sounds correct or if it does not. So this sentence we see has 0 punctuation. There are no commas, there's no pauses. So this would read, Baltimore is home to the USS Constellation is a National Historic Landmark. Whew. Okay, no pauses. Sounds awkward. We need to fix this. So choose the correct way to write the information as a complete sentence. The first one, Baltimore is home to the USS Constellation, which is a National Historic Landmark. Okay, good. We have our comma there. This is a natural pausing point. This sounds correct. This makes sense. Okay, we're going to choose that. This is the correct answer here, but let's look at the other ones. Baltimore is home to the USS Constellation. It is a National Historic Landmark. Well, we can't have a period here because this is breaking up this thought. We need those together. This is one thought. Baltimore is home to the USS Constellation. Baltimore is where this is located. That can't be it. Okay, our next one here. Baltimore is home to the USS Constellation where it is a National Historic Landmark. There's no pause. It's awkward. It's not the answer. Okay, D, Baltimore. It is home to the USS Constellation. It is a National Historic Landmark. That's not going to make sense. Okay, these can stand by themselves. They're independent. And so we would not have a comma there. We would need a semicolon. So that's not going to be an answer either. So our answer here is A. All right, 10 commonly confused words. We've done a lot with this with do nows for the past couple weeks. So this one says, if you had thrown the ball straight, it would not have broken the cellar window. I hope you have learned your lesson. Okay, thrown, like you are tossing something, thrown, the thing that you sit on. Okay, straight, this is going to be a piece of land that goes out in the water. We have straight, which is not wavy. Okay, seller, this is a basement. Seller, someone that is trying to sell something to you. Lesson, teachers make up lessons to teach you things, and then we have lesson to make something smaller. Okay, so here we want straight, the piece of land, to be straight, as in not wavy here. So our answer is B. And again, you should have these answers already for yourselves. I'm providing an explanation for the right answers and providing information on why the other answers are incorrect. All right. And then go ahead and open up that last page there. All right. Continuing on with our last page here, we have two last questions. Let's take a look at number 11 here. Again, something we've been doing with our do nows for the past week, so you guys should be pros at this. We're looking at our subject. We're identifying if it's singular or plural, and then we're choosing the correct verb based on that. So when our subject is plural, the verb is not going to end in S, which is the opposite of what you would normally think, but that is the rule. And then on the flip of that, we have when the subject is singular, the verb is going to end in S. So our sentence here says, many cities around the world blank cherry blossom festivals in the spring. Cities is our subject here. Okay, we have an S on the end. This is a plural subject. So when we go to pick our verb, we're going to choose a verb that does not end in S. So that is going to be celebrate. Many cities around the world celebrate cherry blossom festivals in the spring. That's our answer here. And then finally, I have two notes that I'm going to have you add in the blank space here. And this is going to be on parentheses and also on dashes. Okay, so we will let's do dashes first. Okay, so when you have dashes, or this could be a pair of dashes. Okay, this is going to be exactly what's right in here. Okay, right in here. Dashes you use to interrupt a sentence and add additional information. Okay, so when you feel like you need to add on to what you've already said, you can add a pair of dashes and interrupt the sentence and add it right in there. Okay, and then our second thing that I want to add is going to be parentheses. Yes. Parentheses. And whenever you use parentheses, this is going to be clarifying something in the sentence. It's going to clarify what it comes directly after. Most people think that whenever you use parentheses, you're including extra information about something. That's what the dashes are for there. Parentheses are going to be when you're clarifying something, when you're making something a little bit confusing more clear. Okay, so we're going to take a look back here at number 12. This is our last question. It says, read the sentences. The tree was small, just knee level when I planted it, but now it is 10 feet, 3 meters high, and still growing. All right. Well, if we read this without pauses, that's going to be awkward. We definitely know that we need to have at least some type of pause right before our coordinating conjunction here, but fanboys. And we know that we're going to have to do something with this extra information about just how small the tree is, just knee level. Okay, also something we want to note, we have 2 units of measure here. First, we have 10 feet. This is going to be what we use here. We measure in feet in the United States. But then we also have 3 meters here, and this is going to be something that is a unit of measure in like Europe, they use meters. Okay, so this person here is saying not only is this 10 feet, but to clarify, if you are from a different country where you don't use feet or you use the metric system, this is going to be 3 meters here. So, that being said, okay, we know that we're looking for something to set apart just knee level, a pause before our coordinating conjunction, and something that's going to help us clarify 3 meters. So when we look here, the best answer after going through all of these is going to be D here. The tree was small. I'm using dashes to interrupt the sentence and add additional information. Just how small was it? Well, just knee level. Okay, when I planted it. There's our comma before our coordinating conjunction. Now it is 10 feet. In parentheses, I'm putting 3 meters because this is clarifying. If I don't know what that 10 feet is, I might know what 3 meters is. Okay, high and still growing. Also in these options here that we have above, we see our ellipses here, or the 3 dots. When we have an ellipses, that means that something is being taken out of the sentence. So we can even add this to the notes. We did that on Friday, today as well. So you should definitely have that note somewhere. But when you have an ellipses, and to clarify, parentheses, put 3 dots. Okay, when you have ellipses, this is meaning that something was taken out of the sentence. Okay, so when we look at these options, it says I planted it, ellipses, but now, okay, well, where this is, a word or phrase should be taken out. But when we look up here, there's nothing missing. So nothing was taken out. There's no need for that ellipses. That won't be right. When we're looking at C, just knee level, dot, 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 when I planted, okay, this should have something omitted here or taken out. When we look back in our sentence here, nothing's missing. There was no word taken out or phrase taken out. So there's no need for an ellipses. That's not going to be our answer either. The other option that we have here has really just excessive commas in it. And also this is inserting additional information when we have our dashes, but that's not new information. It's the same information, just clarifying it. Okay, so it says the tree was small, just knee level when I planted it, but now it is 10 feet. Additional information, 3 meters high and still growing. That's the pauses don't sound right and the dashes are not used correctly. So that is not going to be the answer either. So our answer here is D. Okay, now that you have this, we should have notes marked up throughout here. I suggest that you actually circle things in the sentences, do arrows like I did with the vague pronoun there, and that will help you to review for PSSAs. So on Monday, we're going to have a fun review day of all of these grammar things from today's lesson and from Thursday's lesson, the one that you just took notes on here, to review for PSSAs. And then Tuesday and Wednesday of this upcoming week will be your PSSAs. So I will see you on Monday. I hope you have a great weekend and get some sleep, get some rest before PSSAs start.